Hey everybody, welcome to the Cosmic Panel. Today we are here to review Transformers 1, which is not just another animated kids movie. It is much, much more. Before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below what you guys thought of the movie. Hopefully you've seen it. If you haven't, we encourage you to do so, because this will be a spoiler-full review. But yeah, Lucas, do you want to kind of give a one-sentence summary? Do you have something like that?
Yeah. This is the best depiction of Optimus Prime and Megatron at their base ideals. And truly a great launching on point for anybody who either wants to become a Transformer fan or a love letter for Transformers fans. What about you?
Yeah, big time. This was a pleasant surprise as someone who is not super well informed of the Transformers universe to get into the Transformers universe on a good level, but also just get a lot of lore really quickly.
A surprising amount of lore.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this. We will start from the beginning of my story with this, which is I saw a trailer for it in the theater, and I was like, "This looks like kitty garbage."
Yeah, same here. The marketing team needs tomatoes thrown on them, maybe some moldy cabbage.
Tarred and
But
feathered.
Yeah, charred, boiled alive. Tied to two horses, and then both the horses pull. Just like
What have you?
yeah, whatever medieval torture device. Because
Yeah,
man, the marketing team fucking failed. Holy shit! They really gave you the idea that this was going to be like a Solo esque movie where it's going to be like, oh, here's how they transformed, here's how he got his special axe, here's how like it made it feel like it was going to be a dumb fetch quest, that it was going to be just like a super shallow kids film that wasn't going to be anything about like actually it wasn't going to have any good animation. It looked like it was going to be really poorly animated. I thought the faces were going to look awful. Like they looked
yeah,
awful in that first trailer. The film is the exact opposite of all that. Like the first maybe quarter of the film is very kiddie, but that's on purpose because that's how the Transformers think. That's literally how uh, Orion and D16 think. Like they are quite literally children. This is a story of them growing up and realizing the harshness of reality of the world.
yeah.
Um,
And it
Brutal.
also allows the parents of the kids who went to the theater to like be like, okay, this is fine, and then very quickly you realize there's a lot more going on because it is PG, right?
Yeah, it's PG. They got away with a lot of stuff, but the thing that this is the same stuff that like Michael Bay got away with, where it's like you can mutilate and torture Transformers as long as they're still robots. The minute that they're humans, that's when they draw the line. Like it is surprising how much you can get. I mean, Bumblebee gets both his legs chopped off in the first Transformers film, and it's like a horrific scene. He's like
Yeah.
spewing oil and stuff, and it's like he's not made out of meat, so it's fine. Let's talk about some of the characters. Um, well, first, I want to give a huge shout out to the voice cast. I really thought this was going to be just a money cash in. I genuinely, when I heard the cast, I was like, okay, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson. Okay, I was like, okay, this is going to be like your standard like Chris Pratt esque like. Like voice performance, you're not going to get anything out of this. It's going to be as surface level as possible. But then you also had Keegan Michael Key, who was like, it was like, okay, he's like comedic relief. He's going to Bumblebee. I don't see how he could really pull this off. And then you had Brian Tyree Henry, who I knew was going to be good regardless. Like he is amazing. Everything he's done, I've always loved. But I was worried about him with everyone else. I thought he was going to take it way more seriously, and everyone else was going to keep pushing him back. But Chris really works as Optimus's voice. Like when he puts on the mask, like I like that his voice, like an effect happens on his voice, so it makes him sound even more like the traditional Optimus. But I
And at
like
like the
as
final line there, he really is trying.
yeah, it
It's
was
funny,
so cool. It was so
but yeah,
cool. But I like the joke of Bumblebee not shutting the fuck up because he's the one character that as soon as they land on Earth will not talk ever again. um, Scarlett Johansson, I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot that was Scarlett. I completely forgot that was her, like genuinely. And then I mean, Brian Tyree Henry just absolutely killed it. Like that scene where he goes, "No, I want to kill him," and then there's like a silent beat,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, "I want to parade his body down the streets." It was like, holy fuck!
Yeah.
It's like, my guy, this is supposed to be a kids film. You don't got to be talking about lynching like that, my
I
guy.
was surprised they could say kill that many times. Yeah, for me, it took a minute to get over the voices. Just what I mean is just get immersed into the world.
Oh yeah, 100% for
Um,
me. Once they were in the mines, though, that's when I bought it. Like once they were
okay.
actually in the mines,
Mm-hmm.
because when Orion was saving Jazz, was it
Mm-hmm.
Jazz?
Yep.
Um, like that was the moment where I was like, okay, I am like now like involved in the film. The first scene was pretty good, like lore dump. I think personally, I was like, okay, this is like a good way to lore dump if you're going to,
Yeah.
just to get everyone caught up. Yeah, no, I mean the story, the plot is solid.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need a huge amount. Like we didn't even deal with the quintessons. Like
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
literally didn't deal with them, which is fine. Leave that for a second film. You set that up. You let that
Mm-hmm.
cook in the oven a little bit.
Yep.
Deal with Sentinel first. He is the big bad of this film. Deal with the other ones later. Um, but as a huge Transformers fan, this film love letter, true love letter.
Yeah. Yeah. I was to wrap up the voice acting
Oh yeah,
tidbit. I was concerned that Keegan Michael was going to be too funny, but I actually found myself laughing at some of his jokes. Once you hit like the fifth or sixth badassatron, when he hits that pose with his face, I
badass
couldn't help but
Tron.
laugh. So yeah, he had good moments. Steve, when I think it's like the
Oh
mid credit scene when he goes
yeah,
back down and he fucking knife hands them
he
both
just
in the
fucking
head.
kills his friends. He's like, no.
So that was actually funny. Yeah, Chris towards the end of the movie just really starts convincing me. But yeah, as Megatron's descent into evil progresses throughout the movie, I'm just more and more invested in him and his performance. Really great. Um, yeah, this did so much good world building for the Transformers universe, showing you where they stand and how big of a universe it is too. How it shouldn't just be Decepticons versus Autobots. How there is a lot more story to be told before you even get to that point.
Yeah,
So I really loved it for that. Yeah, it kicks off nicely, showing Orion is inspired to do more, to be more, and it starts out pretty kind of basic and fun, and then very quickly gets more intense and shows off a lot of characters on the way. Shows off a pretty classic like um, what's it like the people in power are lying to you kind of story. Um, but yeah, some pretty heavy themes to be dealing with in a kids movie, honestly, but very well
really
done.
surprising. Um, I will say, I think my favorite scene has to go to the scene where Megatron and Optimus are both becoming their like true selves. Like Optimus falls to the core of the planet, becomes Optimus Prime, while Megatron stays where he is and quote unquote gets higher up and becomes Megatron.
Really
Um,
sick, conflicting sequences. Yeah,
it was so good, and then like just the ending fight really goes to show just like how powerful Optimus is. Like the thing is throughout the film you're like, okay, we get that Sentinel strong, we get all these characters, but like Orion isn't the best fighter. But the thing is that like when you show him from like being a miner, it's like okay, he already worked with nothing. Now he knows like with all these additional stuff, he can really work with the flamethrowers, the fucking axe. That was really sick when he pulled that out. When he
yeah,
cut Megatron's like gun arm. Oh my god.
yeah. I
Um
was like visibly like excited like
yeah.
during some of these sequences. Like I was not expecting this movie to be that good in general, but yeah, the fact that it had me like on the edge of my seat during action sequences was crazy.
Also, Starscream actually like that explaining why his voice is like really fucked up. It's like, oh. And then Starscream like begging him to do it because he doesn't want to be in charge of like the royal guard anymore.
hmm
um
That was
just
Buscemi, right? I'm
yeah,
pretty sure that was
that
Steve
was Steve
Buscemi.
Buscemi.
Really
Um
funny.
it was crazy. It was crazy. But I will say I think my favorite two beats in the fight, in the last fight, when Optimus used his wheels to back up and then turned into a car and then swiped out his legs. That was, oh my god. And then when he ripped off Megatron's tank arm and then swung it at him, and Megatron caught it and it just rebuilt on it. Was like, ah. It was like, this is why they're called Transformers. They transform.
They really thought a lot of that shit out. Yeah, it was impressive. Very impressive.
Man, I really wonder how the storyboard was. Like, that must have been crazy. Like, the plot beats. What a film. It needs like 3 more sequels.
I will take more in that universe for sure.
Give it, please. I will say this. I thought for the longest time Bumblebee was going to be the strongest film of the Transformers franchise, at least modern. Just Transformers films in general, including the 90s one. Yeah, I'll say it. And then this just cleared the entire stack. This is it. You trying to get someone into Transformers? This is it. This is the film. Man, what is with IPs these past like 2 or 3 years just like resetting and doing really well? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, fucking Barbie, Transformers.
It's almost like animation is a playground that people should explore and enjoy and realize the potential and storytelling that you can do without real people and live action limitations.
Ah, man.
Like, imagine the amount of like good Marvel films, animated films we could have had by now if they just like pooled their resources from Spectacular Spider-Man, from Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, from fucking any of that shit.
You're hurting me. You're hurting me. Physically,
And just
you're physically hurting me. You're actually
and
going
just
to make
put
me
that
cry.
on the fucking big screen.
You're going to make me physically cry. I hope you're about to make a grown man cry.
But we got Spider-Verse, we got Turtles, and now we got this.
God.
Oh, okay. I do want to say the pacing was really good.
Yes.
This movie is not overwhelmingly long. It's not unnecessarily long. It gets in and it gets out. There's no real dead time. Everything feels necessary, which
Every
is
plot beat has a
huge in
purpose.
movies right now. Yeah. In movies, that's huge right now. With showtime, with runtimes that are over 2 hours every fucking time. Under 2 hours, please do it and do it well. Like, this shows that there doesn't have to be filler. Like, this just keeps the plot moving. Shit is happening, and it's just, yeah, great in that way. That's something I did want to point out.
Let's also talk about fucking the origin of the Decepticon symbol being Megatronus. And having it etched on Megatron's body. Bro, you don't have to go that hard.
This was a prequel movie that when they made references like that, or not references, when they explained or gave people origins, it didn't feel too forced to me. Like, him choking out Starscream made
That's the
sense.
Thing. Like, Megatronus was a thing. Like, that was an actual prime. That was like why he took it. Like, he did. Okay. That is why they are called they're called the Decepticons, because they are trying to fight against deception. Like, which doesn't make any fucking sense when you think about it above surface level, but we don't talk about that. But
yep.
The only thing they didn't really explain, to be honest, is the whole Autobots. But I digress.
I guess I'll have to get there.
He said Autobots roll out. It's like, who? Who? We are.
Well, he said we have to roll out. I don't think he said Autobots yet, right?
He did say roll out. He did say Autobots, though.
He did say Autobots? Oh, I just
he said Autobots right at the end.
At the end, okay.
Yeah, when they were like running and driving into the, I guess, Sahara Desert.
Okay.
But yeah, he says Autobots, and I was like, okay, no one has said that word. Okay. I'm down with it. But
yeah,
no one has said that. Did Optimus coin that? Showing the actual like death of the primes was awesome.
His powers were nuts. Like, he like
the sand, the metallic sand. Motherfucker was just Gaara from Naruto.
That was really sick.
Also, like, canonically in comics and stuff, he can see the future. So, like, that's why he kept on looking at Megatron, was because he knew, like, he was like, oh, well, I have to do this. Like, this is a confirmed part of the timeline. Like, I have to fill this. Like, I have to give this guy his cog. Also, I love that as an explanation for why they can't transform. I was
Hmm.
very much not sold on the whole like, oh, they can't transform, they don't get any abilities. But it's like when you do it like that, where it's like, oh, this is a slave caste system. Like this is a caste system where these people that don't have cogs, that are ripped out when they're quote unquote born, are immediately put in a lesser category. And it's like that's how you do it interestingly.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be kind of chintzy, but I think they did pull it off. Giving that Sentinel explanation.
Also, the spider bot was crazy.
Dude, she was fucking. Yeah, she was nuts.
She was terrified when she opened the back of her head and was like, I can see everything.
Yeah,
It was
that
like,
was
oh god.
crazy.
It was really funny the amount of characters I recognized. That was also the cool thing in general. I was literally just the epitome of like the meme of like pointing, being like, oh my god, I recognize that
Hmm.
character. Like,
No,
oh
they
my
could
god.
throw in so many people like during the race sequence. Like they showed all the names and stuff.
The
Like it was
ending
just
scene.
Easter
The
egg
ending scene where
central.
everyone's getting their cogs. I was like, oh, what? Oh, that ah.
Hmm.
I was like, hot rod, no.
That was crazy too. That he could like give everyone their cogs at the end there.
Yeah, and energon flowing now through the planet. I'm sure nothing bad will ever happen anymore to the planet. I'm sure of it.
There's a lot of potential for this universe.
Yeah, just fucking do it though. Don't bail out on this. I get that it didn't perform well, but that's because your fucking marketing team.
Mr. Paramount.
Mr.
Mr.
Paramount,
Paramount, please.
pretty please. The cherry on top.
I'm gonna give this 4.5 cogs out of 5.
That. And I give this 4 Megatronus stickers out of 5. Or I guess decals, but
As always, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, all that stuff we said at the beginning. If you guys haven't seen this movie, I think you should. Just saying. Comment below what you guys thought of the movie if you have seen it. And until next time, stay cosmic is a thing that we're saying now, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. We're trying it out.